I recently ran into some issues with an SSD that I have on one of my Proxmox servers. This is the server. Actually, let me switch to the screen here. There we go. So this is the server that I recently purchased. This one I've got 3 running right now, but this one I got about a month ago. Anyways, I had bought this. It came with an SSD that I'm booting the Proxmox instance off of, but then I put this additional just 240 gig SSD in there. Now, it was all fine and dandy at first, but then recently I kept on getting these notifications that on that SSD that I purchased, getting a lot of errors coming in. I kept on increasing. I figured it was time to remove that SSD from my Proxmox server and put it onto something else. And so you can see I added these 2 drives here. These are just 1 terabyte drives that I have in a ZFS array. I was trying to figure out what's the best way to move them from one SSD to another. Typically, I've moved them from box to box, and I usually back it up and then restore it. But I was looking to see if there was an easier way to do it when you have the disks just directly on your machine. And so I found out a way. Anyways, I thought I'd share. We're going to go to this one right here, this container. And it's not really being used. I've just got this WordPress site that literally is just like a coming soon page. And you can see, it's loading off that. And so we've got this container that's running this WordPress instance. So what we need to do is we click on resources, and then you can see this is the disk right here. It's a 20 gig volume. And if we were to come in here and click move storage, and then claw is that new ZFS pool that I have. If we click this, it's going to give us an error. As you can see, we cannot move volumes while they are running. That makes sense. So what we're going to do is we're going to shut down this container. So it shuts down the container. It's going to take a few seconds for it to shut down. You can see the status down here. Okay, it's shut down. All right, so now we come back up here, and we're going to move the storage again. And this time we are going to select claw and delete source. Delete source, basically after it successfully moves the disk, the virtual disk, from one drive to another, it will delete the original one. And so you can choose to do this or not. I've had pretty good success. I moved all these other ones and not a single issue. So let's just go ahead and do it. We're going to click move volume. And this is going to take maybe a minute or so. It shouldn't take very long, but it seems like it needs to check some things out before it moves it over, and then it will actually do the process of moving the disk. All right, there we go. So it just happened. All right, so now we can close it. And now let's start this just to show you that is the VM. It's going to give us a bad gateway. My reverse proxy is not going to know where to send us. And so, yeah, it's just going to fail. Here you can see it spinning. So let's start it back up. Yeah, there was that bad gateway. It finally kicked in. Okay, and it looks like it's running again. And so let's refresh. And now we're back up. And as you can see, we are now on the new disk of claw. And so hopefully that helps some of you. I found this to be way easier than I had expected it to be perfectly honest. And I'm grateful that Proxmox made it so simple to be able to move drives or move virtual disks from drive to drive. Anyways, talk to you guys later.